Studios, nearly live, high atop Barley's Tap Room on Washington Street in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I'm your host, Russ Heaps. This is Beer to Whiskey, and this is one of our Big Jon and 5 episodes where I get my buddy Big Jon Richards here, who is our PhD of craft beer honorary. At least that's what he says. To pick a beer. He tells us about it, we sip a little bit of it, we talk about the beer, the brewery, and sometimes a little brewing history seeps into the proceedings. But before we get into it, Big Jon, what do we want them to do?
Oh, we want them to like us at least once with a click, and then subscribe once with a click.
Well, and if you subscribe once with a click, that's all you're there forever. A new video comes out every Thursday at 12 noon. East Coast time. Big Jon, what do we have in front of us?
We are drinking a Sixpoint beer this time. It is a barrel-aged rye wine, kind of is what I'm getting, like a barley wine, but this is a rye. So I'd say 3 kinds of rye, three different kinds of rye malts, and then aged in Woodford rye barrels and what's the Jane? Bourbon, Widow Jane bourbon.
Widow Jane
bourbon barrels. So they take those, age the beer separately in those 2 barrels, and then blend those 2 together to create this thing.
Oh, really?
All right. So there's some fun flavors in this beer, and none of them are subtle.
I'm obviously beer to whiskey. I'm a big bourbon drinker, and I know Jon likes bourbon a lot. We've had a few, belts here and there. But I really am not familiar with, I've never had Widow Jane. I don't know anything about Widow Jane. But just the fact that it's rye and it's done in barrels and I've never had this. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's fun with rye beers. I sometimes get like rye, my personal palate, just rye overwhelms a lot of things, and there's nothing that's subtle about this either. The flavors seem to be, just because everything's so aggressive, everything seems to work better for me. But there's like I said, there's no subtle flavors in this beer.
Yeah.
And it's 10.5% alcohol, so it's not kidding around either. Which is why we have a short pour here in front of us, because nobody trying to go home after one beer.
Well, let's give this
a try. I'm excited for you to try it because of the face I made when I tried it. I said make any faces, but he's speechless again. Which means we're still trying to figure it out. Which I get, because
when you, as a bourbon drinker, when you say rye to me, I expect something that's just going to blow the top of my head off.
Right.
Which this does not do.
Well, right.
And that's a good thing. So I'm very surprised by the subtlety of it, but it's really rich.
As a whole, it's really well balanced, and that's what I dig. Like I said, the flavors of the rye, and I think you're thinking the same thing when you get into rye whiskeys. The rye tends to be such a big, spicy, aggressive flavor that it just overwhelms everything all around it. But in this beer, it fits.
This is really good.
I mean, the name of this beer is Righteous, which I don't think they're far off on.
And earlier, we do a bunch of these segments at a time, and earlier we did a Beer 101 that where we get Big Jon to talk about some aspect of beer. And we talked about lacing.
Yeah.
And holy cow, this isn't lacing. This is
it's curtains.
Yeah, it's like curtains. This is really, look at what it leaves on the glass.
Yeah, it's clicking hard. It's good. Yep. That's awesome.
Holy moly.
Love it when anyone, especially Russ, because it's a friend of mine, picks up on what I talk about. And we've been talking about lacing ever since we started today, but That's insane.
Oh, that is. Holy, this is, now granted, I could drink, this is about all of this I could drink at a setting. But it is so good. Yeah.
But sit this in front of, Russ, think about it, sit this in front of like a creme brulee and how rich that is
Yeah.
and the way this would cut
Yeah.
through it.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my God, would that change your life?
This is terrific. So, Sixpoint is in New
Sixpoint
York
Brewing
somewhere.
out of New York, out of Brooklyn, if I remember
Okay.
correctly. Doing all across the board really, really wonderful beers. Their core stuff is really true to style, well done. Some of this off the wall stuff is just out there, but all really well put together. They have yet to disappoint me. They're just they're doing wonderful stuff.
I'm floored by this. This is a complete beer to me.
Right.
Like I say, I couldn't drink any more than this at a sitting.
Nor
Not
would you
only,
want to.
yeah, not only because of the alcohol count in it, but it's such a big beer.
If you managed to finish this in 20 minutes, 20 minutes later, you'd still be sitting with it. It's still,
Right.
there's no way you could get it off your palate.
Right.
It is a big mouth coating beer.
Which is why we've kind of saved this for the end of the day today, knowing that might be the case. But anything else?
Man, I think we pretty much nailed what we had to on this one.
I think
Might as well
so.
let them go get a beer.
With that,
Let's
Texas
do it.
Miss Lily. Thanks, Barley.
Cheers.
See you next time.